Hi, everyone. I'm here in post-production because I have a few announcements to make about the show. This was the first episode we recorded after a very long break due to illness on the part of one host, and then the COVID-19 outbreak, which we are still in the middle of at the moment, shutting down our ability to record together. We're glad to be back, but a few things have changed in that time, including some changes among the hosts. Most of those will be addressed within the episode, but one I'm going to be telling you right now. If you've listened to the show up to this point, you probably know me as Nick. Well, that is changing. I am transgender. I now go by Jessica, and I will be using she and her pronouns. And that is what you'll be hearing on this episode and all subsequent ones. But this show isn't about me, it's about Nicolas Cage, so without further ado, I bring you the first Cage Fight episode of 2020, recorded remotely for the first time.
Cage Fight! Oh yeah! Cage Fight! Nicolas Cage!
Oh yeah, the theme song probably wasn't transmitting through there, but it did cut off everything I had to say.
All I could hear was the fight chants.
So, welcome to the Cage Fight podcast. This is episode 16 now, and it's been a hot minute since we recorded, but we're back, and we're doing it over Discord this time instead of in person because of our lovely...
I think it's episode 17, actually.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I
way
got
to go.
17 here.
Episode 17. What?
Well, fuck it. It's episode 16. I've decided it. This is episode
Damn.
16 too.
Don't listen to the
Revisionist
previous
history.
episode.
All right.
So on this episode here, we are going to be reviewing the movies Windtalkers and Outcast, which are, in all likelihood,
Two main
movies.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah, these are two of the biggest ones.
This is going to be a hot episode.
Oh yeah, no. Both these movies did extremely well at the box office, and they're all household names. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you just heard there, we've got a new third person on here who we might be seeing quite frequently. And I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, friend?
Absolutely. So my name is Taylor. I am the newest member of the Cage Fight Polycule. Eagle-eared listeners might know me from the podcast Dick Proles, because I'm sure our audiences overlap very significantly. But along with being a huge political nerd, a huge music nerd, and all-around fucking anti-normie person, I'm also a huge movie buff, and Nick Cage is fucking hilarious. So when these guys gave me the opportunity to come on, I was super excited.
Hell yes. Love to hear it.
Welcome to the pod.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then everybody knows Mike, I assume.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Mike is here. So Taylor, since it's your first time on the podcast, you have to answer the inaugural question. What are your top 25 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies?
Oh God. Let's see here. Aquaman. Fuck.
That's close.
You're
That one Shaq movie where he played a robot superhero man.
Yeah, Space Jam.
Oh, I was hoping for
Yeah,
Kazam.
that's it. Fuck. I'm sorry. Daredevil. Yeah. The original Daredevil with Ben Affleck. Yeah.
You know what? That was a test and you passed. You proved that you're a true Marvel fan, and that's all we really needed from you. So you're in.
No,
Fuck,
Y'all want the
real
theme song again?
Okay.
You can keep playing it, and I won't hear it either way. So.
But yes, as always, there's Mike and Dave, and not as always, I'm Jess now. You've heard this in the preamble. Okay. So, going into our first movie here, Windtalkers. Let's just bounce around, give ourselves a little general overview of this. This movie came out in 2002.
Wait, hang on. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're not.
What about that big event that happened that we got to talk
Oh
about?
my God! How could I forget this?
Somebody flew too close to the sun, and it's heartbreaking.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess we've addressed this on Twitter, but not on the podcast.
Yeah. So our old host, our old buddy, our old friend, Zach, has passed away. He died in a car accident while he was out protesting to get Dave reinstated. And
Against his better judgment.
He did so much for
Yeah.
me.
He's just he's all for ripping on Dave, but he's also all for Dave's rights as a worker, and he was we unlawfully terminated Dave. So
And
You did.
I'll say it, he was a hero.
It's a working class hero.
absolute working class hero, and
He's a jukebox hero.
that too.
He's pick a type of hero. He's a dial H for hero.
We are not going to protest the hero. We're not going to do that.
No. But
Not all heroes wear carps, okay?
our good friends in the band National Pleasure did put together a song in Zach's honor in order to just help the memory live on. And
The label didn't even pay for the studio time. We fronted that out of our own pockets because this mattered a lot to us. Well, not that I'm in National Pleasure, but I do their engineering, and it was a lot of work. There were a lot of tears shed. It meant a lot to them, and you could tell.
yeah. So if you all don't mind, we're just gonna play that song for you all, so we can all experience that together.
Just a moment of silence punctuated by rock and roll.
You know what? You guys talk shit about the Black Eyed Peas all the time, but we all know everyone loved them.
Cage fight. Oh yeah. Cage fight.
I love Sandalene. Hold up, I gotta go have sex.
Rest in peace, Zach.
God damn.
Wow.
That
So-
was beautiful.
I'm
Yeah.
downright choked up.
I thought it was really something quite nice that they put together, and they remembered that he loved Sandally.
And then he loved having sex.
Yes, and that he loved having sex.
And I think that's why he loved Sandally so much, is because of how much he loves sex.
that definitely played a big factor into it. And
That's why he
I hope
loves Sunny.
someday he comes back as a ghost.
yeah, that would if he could
I
haunt
will
us.
pay that ghost.
Well, rest in peace, Zach. By now your body looks worse than it ever has. But I'm sure it's funny.
I would love to see it again.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of choked up right now, but I think we've got to move on. So, Windtalkers. As I had started saying before, this is a movie that came out in like 2002. I didn't actually verify the rating, but I'm pretty sure it's rated R.
I'm
Just based
gonna
off what
say
I
Uh,
that.
saw.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too. There was a lot of swears in here that would kind of make that an R-rated movie. So nothing else, just R, just mostly like the F
Yeah.
words and stuff. like that.
just those
Plenty of
F-bombs.
limbs blown off.
Directed by John Woo, which I had no idea until after I looked it up like an hour before this podcast.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's fucking weird, right? Because like there was a time for a while after Face Off, right? Because that was a movie after Face Off,
Mhm.
where John Woo was like an actual like fixture in Hollywood. It was really weird.
I mean, he had already become like one of the biggest directors in Hong Kong, and then came over here to fucking smash it even harder. He did Face Off, Mission Impossible 2, Hard Target, Broken Arrow. This is actually his penultimate Hollywood movie. He did, I think, like Paycheck or something after this.
Paycheck. I've never heard of that even.
It has Ben Affleck and Uma Thurman, but he stopped doing Hollywood movies after that because he said all Hollywood offers me is crap or big action pictures. I want to do something good.
Oh.
So
So has he
this,
been doing indie movies since then? I didn't even know that.
no, well, I mean, he's back. I think doing movies primarily in China.
Oh, okay.
He's done, I think, 5 or 6 movies since his last Hollywood production, but certainly not quite the fixture in American cinema that he once was.
Oh, I didn't realize he directed Mission Impossible 2. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, which is actually the worst one, like hands down. But
Actually, no, it's not. The soundtrack has Metallica and a band I will not mention the name of until later.
The soundtrack. The soundtrack is better than the movie.
Okay, that's understandable. I will accept that.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was one of the rotating cast of Mission Impossible directors. He just happened to get the shitty one. So.
Oh, that sucks, dude. I know the original was directed by Brian De Palma. I knew that, but
Did those movies have a different director each time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Brad Bird did one. He did like 4 or 5. I think J.J. Abrams did. I'm not positive though.
Moving on. This is Cage Fight, not Cruise Fight.
Y'all want the theme
Cruise
song again?
control.
yeah, cruising for a bruising. Hell yeah, dude. Let's do this.
We need a little cruise control in here.
So this was produced by 2 different companies, just Lion Rock Productions and Metro Goldwyn Mayer. I assume MGM did the distribution, probably not the regular production. But I don't know because I didn't really look it up because I'm a great host, you know.
Yeah, these are all.
Congratulations, Jess. You did such a good job.
Thank you. And I also didn't look this up, so you're welcome.
I looked up the cast information, and that was literally it.
This has a runtime of 134 minutes, and it had a budget of $115 million. Can y'all guess how much it grossed?
$10.
Yeah, it did not gross its budget. I can at least say that.
Yeah, so this one grossed $77.6 million, which means that that's another movie in the red.
Another flopper.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's 18 movies in the red versus 9 in the black. So,
wait, is that really the record so far?
Yes, that is the record thus far. Jess in post here. Actually, I fucked that up. It's 9 movies in the black and 24 in the red. So even worse.
To be fair, knowing Nicolas Cage's like record though, that's actually pretty good because I thought like only 3 films ever made money that Nicolas Cage. It's like National Treasure, fucking maybe Ghost Rider, and I don't know, maybe it was a Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think he's in that movie, right?
Yeah, that was his debut, I believe.
Yeah, that's
and that movie
Pay
had
the
a budget
Ghost,
of
I'm
like
sure that
$500.
made fucking tons of money.
Yeah, Pay the Ghost. I think I went to go see that in the theater 450 times.
But yeah, on Rotten Tomatoes, this one got a 33% on the tomato meter and an audience score of 50%. So as always, the critics are a bunch of, bastards who are too snooty for what the audience thinks.
Pretentious pricks.
We are for the people here, and oh, that was like a motorcycle, but it sounded really fucking
No, yeah, I
creepy.
live next to a very busy road, so I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I live next to an idling motorcycle, so.
Sounds like a Bruce Springsteen.
I live literally inside of an auto shop. I'm so sorry about that.
That really does sound like a Springsteen lyric. I live next to an idling motorcycle.
Yeah, that mama was an idling motorcycle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor, if you could work on your voice being a little more gravelly, that would be great.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
If you can just clench your teeth together and like speak with your bottom lip. Like this kinda.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
You know why they call him the boss, right? He doesn't allow the rest of his band to take bathroom breaks on their shift.
Fires them one by one.
All right. Well, do you have any fun facts, trivia about this movie, Mike?
Yeah, I've got a few things. So prior to filming, most of the principal cast joined a group of 62 extras for boot camp, like attempting to replicate World War II Marine training. Also, Nicolas Cage learned to fluently speak Navajo for this part, despite the fact that his character does not speak Navajo.
At all.
He claimed he did it to better understand the script, but John Woo maintained that Cage had misunderstood the character for which he had been cast.
Oh my god, can you imagine he played the Navajo talk?
Honestly,
Red Finks in a movie, that'd be so fucking fun.
Wouldn't surprise me, especially around this time in Hollywood.
Hey, this was the time where they figured out that they had to give sympathetic portrayals to Native Americans, but they hadn't figured out how to do that without centering it on a white character. So,
right.
And that's very apparent in this movie. But
I mean, just a couple years later, The Last Samurai came out starring Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Which actually, the director for the other movie that we are going to be covering was a stunt coordinator on The Last Samurai. So,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah. Let's see what else I have here. This was slated for a fall 2001 release, but because of the national holiday 911, they pushed it back.
We'll never
And
forget
So
that.
they pushed it back. They pushed it back because Silver Side Up by Nickelback came out. That's weird.
Yeah. And Toxicity by System of a Down.
Came out the week prior.
Wait, I think
Yeah,
God Hates
okay.
Us All. And
By Slayer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that came out on September 11th. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it sounds right to me.
Very
And
monumental thing, America.
Mediocre Generica. And
Great album.
Sorry, I'm like stalling through this. I have too much trivia written down for this.
that's okay. We're just coming up with every album that came out on 9/11.
Well, I'm gonna just plow through the last of these facts. The desert scene in the opening credits is some stock footage that has been used in Back to the Future 3, National Lampoon's Vacation, and City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
Hold on.
If that looks familiar.
Yeah, I very distinctly remember City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. What the fuck is that?
I think that's a Billy Crystal picture.
No, that sounds like a really bad like Japanese porn video title. Like those aren't words that should go.
It's one of those Japanese porns with Billy Crystal in it.
Oh god, so hot, dude.
Speaking of stock footage, though, I swear there were some scenes in this movie where there were like battleships firing guns that looked like it was just stock footage, but not even on film.
I think that was literally stock. It was really jarring because like it was really grainy, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
It
I
looked
do
like
think it was stock.
yeah, it looked like video and not even film, so it was really fucked up. I don't know.
And the last fun fact that I have is that this movie was released on the same day as Scooby Doo and The Bourne Identity.
Oh,
So pretty huge day for the box office.
with the
Wait,
live
the
action
Scooby Doo movie with fucking Matthew Lillard. That
Yeah.
one.
The first live
Oh,
action.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Well, I guess I'll see Punk, that one.
Oh, wait, what? That's a Scooby Doo.
Fucking just ignore me, dude. Like, everybody should know that by now, right?
I don't know.
I,
Sometimes I feel bad talking over you, even though you're the worst engineer. But
Well, the best thing here is that whenever I hit the talkback button, everything else goes away and it's just me, so...
I don't know what makes me feel worse, being rude to you or having to listen to you. So,
Damn,
It's a
dude.
crapshoot, ain't it?
Okay. Well, is that all the trivia we got there?
yeah, and I'm glad I fucking churned that out in a beautiful, beautiful manner. So
That you did.
Very informative. I appreciated it.
you're all welcome. Now let's get to it. War is hell.
Yeah, war is hell, and that's the plot summary of this
What
film.
is it good for? Well, I mean, I don't know, something, I guess.
Absolutely two things.
John Woo movies and camouflage shirts.
The band Five Finger Death Punch have also benefited very well from war. Thank you.
So,
Ding!
the general plot summary of this movie, or like the like, you know, like elevator pitch, is this is a war movie in the Pacific that follows the Navajo code talkers. That during World War II, the United States used a code language over the radio that was based on the Navajo native tongue because basically no one else in the world spoke that language. And the Japanese sure as hell didn't and weren't able to crack that code. So this is following people like that. But getting a little more in depth into this movie, it kind of starts out with Cage and like a bunch of soldiers under his command just getting like massacred by like Japanese forces. Just, I mean, not massacred. That has a different connotation. But they done got fucked up. That's what.
Oh
we'll
no,
say.
yeah, they got their shit kicked in, dude. It was pretty bad.
Yep. They all.
Yeah, pretty brutal from the beginning.
It kind of looks like they all die, but we do see in the very next scene that Cage is not dead. He's just recovering. He's lost his equilibrium because of like a ruptured eardrum, I think, so he can't stand up straight. And
He was essentially standing on top of a live grenade when it went off.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
They usually fucks your hearing at least a little bit.
a little.
yeah, he's got what they call shrapnel head.
I mean, if you're a pussy.
Yeah, for
Oh.
sure.
I mean, I will have a
Not
little anecdote. My mom's long-term partner literally did have a grenade blow up like a couple feet away from his ear at one point, and he still has a lot of hearing issues.
Oh shit.
Was that in active duty or at the gathering of the Juggalos?
It was a combination of on duty and at the gathering of the Juggalos in the city of Green Bay, which is kind of a combination of both of those things, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's a war up there.
It's half war zone, half Juggalos. So yes.
Oh yeah, and in my notes, I think I have this is about 6 minutes into the movie, and so all I wrote was Cage goes down, movie's over.
Okay.
I think that's about.
I'm waiting
it
for
this
Cage to
one.
go down on me, you know? No, I'm not.
I keep asking him to.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cage, no. But we see like some of the Navajo code talkers are training with like the biggest flashcards of all time. And we then see Cage after his recovery being sent into like an officer's command to get his new assignment, where he is told that he is going to protect the Navajo code talkers. And if they're ever about to be captured by enemy forces, well, his duty is actually to protect the code and not the code talkers, and he has to kill them to prevent them from being captured and interrogated and the code being cracked. And Cage kind of just accepts that.
He's not happy about it, but I think he kind of buries that deep down until it comes up again inevitably.
Yeah. Then after that, I guess we kind of see their division, platoon, I don't fucking know what, I don't know all the designations, is gathered together, and they're finally getting their orders on when they're going to ship out. The head of their religion. What the fuck am I saying? The head of
their religion.
Yeah, the head of their religion is Peter Stormare, I believe is his name, right?
Yeah, I think Peter Stormare, and I will say, I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys, but like his accent is incomprehensible.
See,
his accent in this movie is like a combination of every single like major European American like accent trying to speak American English, and like every single like regional accent in America combined into one. Like, what is his accent in this fucking movie?
Yeah, when the credits rolled, I don't remember them saying his name at all, but seeing it in the credits, it was something like heavily and ambiguously European. So
yeah, and I'm like, dude, and I know obviously, you know, there were a lot of European Americans at the time who like came from the fucking like Ellis Island and shit, but like we're trying to do an American accent with him and it just didn't fucking work.
Yeah, he was very clearly trying to do an American accent, but his Swedishness just, you know, overpowered it.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember he was in Fargo, and I don't really remember that character all that well at the moment, but did he have an accent in that role?
Kind of.
Yeah, he did have an accent in that role. I think he's had an accent in pretty much every role he's been in.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess he just can't do an American accent.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him, in this movie, Fargo's probably his best movie. That or The Lost World, Jurassic Park. And I think he's in Big Lebowski, too. He was just in a shitload of movies in the late 90s, early 2000s. I miss him, kind of. I don't know what it is.
I love him a lot. I mean, if not for Fargo, his dozens of other roles. But yeah, Fargo fucking rules.
But yeah, he is the head of their legion, or whatever the fuck. And I do have that noted. He has the absolute worst American accent I've ever heard. And they're assigned... their orders are to take the island of Saipan, which I believe would set their arrival there at June 7th, 1944, or it could be June 17th. I don't remember. I looked it up last night and for some reason didn't write it down. June 15th. I'm wrong. I hate me. So they have a little last party, and Cage talks with like the nurse who was caring for him in the field hospital in what I believe was Hawaii. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever said where that was.
Oh, that hospital was in Hawaii. Yeah, I remember the little subtitle on it said Hawaii.
Okay.
They get to the island of Saipan, and I kind of didn't note a lot of things that happened in between, but when the first battle starts happening, there comes a point where Cage goes like full like PTSD Rambo and just runs around like gunning down like 40 Japanese soldiers. He's taking them on like it's like fucking World at War Call of Duty, and he's just like playing...
he goes full Cage at this point.
And he just like personally murders them all and runs to a gun nest and plants the satchel charges in there, with just like total disregard for his own life, which I guess is just supposed to show off his PTSD.
Meanwhile, he's having flashbacks to the part in the beginning where all his buddies got shot up and his ear exploded. So
And we also get the first taste of the Navajo code talking being used over the radio from the guy that Cage is assigned to protect, which his name I believe is Ben Yazi.
Benghazi, yeah.
Benghazi.
Benghazi, yes.
So emails there like calls in the strike from the battleships, and that's when we see the really bad stock footage that I was talking about earlier.
Then it ends up with them like kind of post battle after they shoot the shit out of everybody, and they begin to like lament about the lives that they gave up to go to war.
Oh yeah.
Which is when there's a recurring thing of I don't know his name in the movie, but the actor Noah Emmerich being like a racist prick.
Mm-hmm.
Which like every time
went by Chick.
Yeah, Chick. Every time the battling like slows down, it just kind of cuts to him being a fucking asshole.
You know, and that's always the thing about these movies, right? That was really common in like late 90s, early 2000s, is that it's like a story of like overcoming racism, but the racist is always so caricaturally like just stupid. Like, I know racism's stupid, but like, can you have a character who's not like, hey, look, Indian, you don't belong here? Like, dude, come on, man. Like, we can do a little bit better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like they're at this point they had just survived this like huge battle, and then he decides to give the code talker like this lecture about how the only difference between you and the Japanese is your uniform. I might mistake you for them. Like, it's like, okay.
And they get into like a scuffle, and like they all get like pulled apart. So yeah, we get some exposure to racism, but then we also get some cross-racial bonding as we see the other code talker, whose name I didn't note because he's barely in this movie.
White Horse, I believe.
Oh, White Horse, yes.
Yes.
He's playing his flute, and just another white soldier walks up and plays his harmonica with him, and they jam. It's
I'm sorry, was that you said random? Did you mean Christian Slater?
Oh,
Christian Slater. We haven't mentioned that Christian Slater is in this movie somehow.
He's the least racist person in this movie by a lot.
Yeah, he's essentially like Nicolas Cage's counterpart. He's assigned to White Horse, and Cage assigned to Benghazi. And I don't know. We get an early scene of him and Cage talking about how they can't divulge any information to each other. But yeah, he's one of the other main dudes, and he's looking foxy.
Oh yeah.
Christian Slater's a fucking snack in this movie. He really is.
Oh yeah, certified.
So I was gonna say about that jam. Luckily, that guy's Christian Slater's harmonica is in the right key, so it all just works out.
That soldier grew up to be Robert Dylan.
Hey, that dude that sang "Blowing in the Wind"?
No, I think it was "Pissin' in the Wind."
Yeah, the answer, my friend, is "Pissin' in the Wind." Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the Ween song?
How many
Waving My
rows
Dick in
must
the
a
Wind?
man piss down until you call him a man or something?
Don't know. But yeah, so moving on to the next scene, they're moving on to their next skirmish with their next set of orders, and while they're on their way there, like, Ben starts talking to Cage about his son back home and his wife, who's like more traditional than him, and Cage is like, "No, man, I don't want to know about your kids. I gotta kill you, man." He doesn't actually say that, but he's thinking it. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, you just know he's gonna picture that kid when he is blasting Benghazi in the fucking eye.
But yeah.
Oh my god!
So
this is a horrifying thought. Could you be like just having to murder somebody to like protect the code and be like, "I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna tell your son I'm sorry one day."
It would be best if we didn't get to know each other in case I have to blow your skull out.
Yeah, what the fuck is the point of that?
While they're on their way there, they're suddenly being fired upon by U.S. artillery, and it's like bombing the shit out of them. Because I don't know where the mistake was, if they were in the wrong position or if the artillery is firing on the wrong position, but something's fucked up. And in the process, Ben's radio is just destroyed. So they're...
This is why you're supposed to turn off friendly fire.
Yeah. Makes everything easier. So he works up this plan where he's going to put on the uniform of a dead Japanese soldier because I guess the racist was right. Um, that seemed to be the message of the scene in the movie or something.
Yeah, good job validating the racist character, you racist movie.
Yeah.
I guess even Chinese directors can even encourage white supremacy. Fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, so he puts that on and like takes Cage as a fake prisoner, and they manage to shoot up a bunch of Japanese soldiers and take a Japanese radio, call off the American artillery strike, and have it bomb the Japanese position instead. For that, after the battle is over, or after the skirmish, I guess, because the battle goes on for a month, but Cage is decorated with a silver star, and Yazi is very clearly looked over because racism. He's like, I couldn't have done that without Ben. And he's like, oh yeah, that Indian. Well,
Oh yeah, that guy.
yeah. Well, you just keep that star, all right? Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, the guy who's information about and knowledge about this language is probably a vital role in this war. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, here's a couple coupons. I'm not gonna give you a star. Fuck off.
Listen, we could only afford one medal, and we have to give it to the white guy first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's
we do
Nicolas
have.
Cage. Why wouldn't you give him a medal?
You can get 20% off at Arby's with this coupon, and they have the meats.
John Woo knew him from Face Off, so he let him keep the medal.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, Cage gives the star to, I don't know, some other soldier. He's like, I don't need decorate. I'm tragically torn up about my past, and I have PTSD. I have movie PTSD. But then after this, they kind of move into a village that's filled with Japanese civilians still, because the island wasn't completely evacuated or anything like that. I don't know if it was ever fully addressed earlier, but at this point, at least, it's revealed that Cage's character fully speaks Japanese. Like he's fluent, I guess, because he manages to hold like a conversation with them, including
Just randomly start speaking Japanese. Like what? Like you could have alluded to that early. I mean, it would have been cool, but then it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, how?
Yeah, they really should have.
He learned Navajo and Japanese for this movie, so.
Dude, that's crazy. You know how many probably years that took to fluently learn both of those languages to say like 3 lines total?
Yeah.
Or 0 in the case of Navajo.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 lines combined, 3 Japanese and 0 Navajo.
I don't know how Navajo ranks, but I know that Japanese is literally ranked as the hardest language for English native speakers to learn because it's so different. So like
I quit
on him, I guess.
Japanese on Duolingo to learn Navajo. So if that's any indicator.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
Hell yeah. So yeah, he does that. He talks with like a Japanese kid or something and sits down because, war movies from this time always have to show the American forces being very good to all of the civilians that they encounter.
Yeah, they were always really good and never did any harm to local village civilians during the 20th century.
They didn't kill any kids or anything.
No, absolutely not. No raping of children, no murdering of children. They were all angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing that they didn't show in the movie is that usually they would carry around a sack of like teddy bears to hand out to the children.
Absolutely.
I think that was cut for time.
And frankly, I think it's kind of un-American that they didn't put that in.
I do too.
Yeah.
They also cut out the scene where they all sit down together and enjoy an apple pie.
Yeah.
Fucked by Jason Biggs. It's a very American scene.
After that, Cage and Yazi kind of have another bonding moment where he kind of gets into the fact, and I do actually kind of applaud this movie for this. I mean, it doesn't talk about it directly, but it references it in saying that he was, like raised Catholic, forced into a school where he wasn't allowed to speak Navajo and things like that. And this does kind of address that, the United States, this isn't talked about very much, but the United States had essentially re-education camps for a lot of Native Americans. And this went on from like the late 1870s up through like almost the 50s, where basically
so it lasted up until like the 70s, I believe, and in fact Canada had very similar schools that lasted up until the 90s. So
Jesus Christ, yeah,
dude.
But yeah, like he talks about how he wasn't allowed to speak his own language, and when he did, he was chained to a radiator for punishment, and like it was kind of cool to see that addressed in a movie. I don't know that I've actually ever seen that addressed in another movie, and certainly not a big Hollywood blockbuster. So, props to this movie for that a little bit, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, big Hollywood blockbuster in quotation marks because it didn't even make its money back.
Yeah, okay. Oh, blockbuster certainly in quotation marks, but big budget Hollywood film certainly.
Okay, I will accept that. Yes.
Now, we have to go back and watch Scooby Doo and see if they address anything similar in that movie.
Scooby Doo was actually an allegory for the invasion of Grenada. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, that's why Sugar Ray was in it, because they represented. I don't know. I just remember that Sugar Ray was in that movie.
Wait, like the band Sugar Ray?
Yeah,
Oh, not just Mark
Hell
McGrath.
yeah.
Sugar Ray was in it? Really?
I think so. Well, I mean, maybe just Mark McGrath. I don't know. I recently
It's okay to call Mark McGrath Sugar Ray. I mean,
he is Sugar Ray.
As far as I'm
Essentially,
concerned, he is.
it's kind of like
I-
how
I-
that guy from Smash Mouth is just Smash Mouth.
he's Smash.
He's Smash Mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, or Mr. Smash Mouth if you're trying to be specific. But
Yeah,
Or-
if you're addressing him directly to ask him to eat the eggs, you say Mr. Smash Mouth.
Or like the vocalist of Trapped is Mr. Trapped. It makes sense.
Yeah. You know, the lead singer of Smash Mouth actually has a PhD in astrophysics.
Oh yeah, he studied at the Astro Lounge, didn't he?
Yeah.
all right. But so while they're in this village, the Japanese kind of suddenly attack and kill a shitload of the U.S. soldiers. And they're about to take away one of the code talkers, White Horse. White Horse's guy who's supposed to kill him is also killed.
Oh no, you missed the portion. Christian Slater got his fucking head chopped off with a katana.
Oh yeah, that is totally true. Actually, yes. Yeah, while they're sitting there, he's like, I can't let them take you, and he's like aiming the gun at him, but you can tell he at White Horse, and he has second thoughts and starts firing at the Japanese instead. So, and then a Japanese soldier with a katana comes up and just fucking beheads him.
You know, that's the thing. It's really weird that Christian Slater played this role as well as Yukio Mishima.
Yeah. Well, no, if he played Yukio Mishima, he would have been failed.
Oh no, yeah, he would have.
He would have had someone hacking his neck like 25 times. Like it wouldn't have come off that cleanly. But
That was also cut for time.
Yeah, that took like an hour to cut off his head, dude. It took forever. They had to cut it.
brutal.
Yeah, they actually paused the battle and they were like, "Can you guys just like stop shooting at us? I really got to get this guy's head off." Like,
Have you ever cut off somebody's head? It's surprisingly difficult.
yeah. God, it took me like 3 or 4 times to get the hang of it. But yeah, after that, White Horse is being hauled away by like 3 or 4 Japanese soldiers, and Cage sees this and just pulls a pin on a grenade and tosses that bad boy in there and kills all of them. And then pretty much immediately after the fighting stops, Cage confesses this to Yazi, and Yazi holds Gage at gunpoint while Cage yells like, do it! But Yazi doesn't do it.
You don't have the fucking guts. No, I mean he's pretty PTSD'd out. Dude's not there. He's got like 1,000 yard stare and all that shit.
Yeah, Cage is very regretful of having done that. He doesn't like it, but he feels he keeps saying like, just following orders, doing what I have to do. But
Yeah, I mean that seems to be a theme for him throughout this movie. He sticks to the rules, and then gets completely traumatized because of it.
Next, they go to their last skirmish, where during this, because Yazi is pissed at Cage, like they end up walking through a minefield on their way there, and then Yazi just runs off, like going full Rambo and like killing soldiers, which is weird because up to this point in the movie, he's been super hesitant to kill any Japanese soldiers. Like every time it's happened, he just kind of freezes up and doesn't do it.
And then Cage steps in and like slits a guy's throat.
Yeah. Because Cage
Yeah,
is,
that's the thing. Like, yeah, he's afraid to do pretty much anything in this movie. He's like a very pure soul. So for that scene to happen was a little weird.
yeah, I guess it shows a change in Yazi because now he's freaked out. He thought his friend who had his back. Oh yeah, I should mention that Cage, I think at that point confesses to him like, "Hey, you know, my orders are to kill you if you're going to be captured." And so Yazi's all pissed.
There's a character development. I just don't think it's a very well developed character development. I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that. Kind of comes out of nowhere. after Yazzie runs off, Cage catches up with him, but Yazzie loses his radio in the scuffle. And they have to call or retrieve that radio to call in air support. And so when they go to do that, like they get separated kind of from the rest of the group. They manage to grab the radio and call in the airstrike, but they're shot in the process and like severely injured. And they feel like they're going to be captured. And Ben turns to Cage and says, "Just do it now. Get it over with. Kill me."
Mirroring the previous situation.
Yeah, mirroring the previous situation. And Cage doesn't do it. And he says, "We're getting out of here." And he hauls him back, throws him on his back, and runs out of there. Because Yazzie's shot in the leg, Cage is just shot in the arm. But
yeah, and so it's like two heaps of flesh like crawling to the finish line. Meanwhile, a shitload more Japanese soldiers show up behind him and start firing off on him.
Mm-hmm. And so they get out of there, and Yazzie's like, we did it. And Cage is like, because his lungs are filling with blood. And
from like fucking Wicker Man.
My eyes.
Come closer, son, so I can cough blood on you. Something like that.
So Cage dies there. Then after that, we see like Yazzie back at home, presumably after the war. And he's doing a Navajo ceremony with his son. And he says, like, this is Ben, whatever Ben Enders. I remember that because I was like, hey, if this is like Ender's Game or something. I don't know.
He was Italian, and then some fucking piece of shit at Ellis Island made him change it. So that was the story.
Mm-hmm. But he says, this was Ben Enders. He was a good friend of mine and a very good soldier. And then, so he honors him in that Navajo ceremony. And then the movie ends, and it has, like, you know, the text.
The chyron about how the Navajo thing was very prominently used in World War II.
What it says is the Navajo code was vital in Saipan and every major battle in the Pacific. And then it cuts to the next frame and says the code was never broken. Now, as it says this, it has a frame of Cage like jogging in boot camp, which to me is implying like the code was never broken because of these dudes that killed those people. Like, you know, these dudes who had that order to kill people.
These heroes that killed their fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know, America honored the sacrifice of the Navajo Code Talkers by allowing them to have the worst coronavirus like infection rate of any community in the United States. So they did a very good job. America did a very good job of honoring its Navajo Code Talkers.
Killing it.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I mean, as we all know, America's always been extremely nice and supportive to its native community through disease and pandemic. So,
always. They've never been the instigators of any sort of disease or pandemic.
No, never. I mean, you know, that's the thing. We always gave them warmth and kindness, not through blankets, through
Gave them some great blankets though too.
Yeah, they were pretty dope.
Oh my God! I actually have an aunt and uncle who I'm not even shitting you, live on a Native American burial ground, and they actually have like graves with the like Native people buried in those fucking blankets. I'm not even kidding.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. And it's like, oh yeah, we shit on your people, you know, and we killed 95% of them. I mean, hey, do you guys want to like help us fight in our war?
Oh yeah.
That is much worse than Poltergeist even makes it seem. So
oh my God. A country that was willing to do war crimes during World War II to its own citizens is like, you want to fight for us? Yeah, sure, we'll go for it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
why not?
We'll do the code thing.
Oh my God. I will say though, I was a little bit bored through this movie, but I mean, it was fine. I did have some issues with it. The main issue is that like the movie's called Windtalkers, but the movie's it's more of a Nick Cage movie than it is about the actual Code Talkers, because they really don't make up that much of the movie, to be honest.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is supposedly about the Windtalkers, the Navajo soldiers in World War II, but it's basically just completely focusing on Nicolas Cage, the white guy, and his journey towards liking one of them.
Yeah,
they're very much secondary characters who somehow got put in the title.
It's kind of like with Stephen King and his like, you know, magical black man trope. It's like, oh, you know, this movie about this, you know, black man, and it's like, oh no, it's a movie about a white guy who lives through the trauma of another black person. It's like, oh no, but he makes my life better. And it's like, dude, a movie about the Code Talkers should be about the Code Talkers. It shouldn't be about like, oh yeah, well these people helped out during a battle, and then we just fucked their shit up all the time.
Yeah, you get like a scene of them like in training, learning the code and whatnot, and then you get like a scene during that first battle where they're utilizing it, and then it's not even close to being at the forefront of this movie. It's barely in it at all.
Probably a combined 5 at most 10 minutes of content of this movie that's dedicated to the actual like the process and the code talkers and the training. It's very insufficient in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, apparently initially John Woo had intended for this to be more of a dramatic movie, but then they kind of stepped in and were like, yeah, you're doing big John Woo war movie. And so that might have affected that a little bit.
Oh yeah, had to show more of the battle scenes, because this does kind of follow in the tradition of I mean, this is kind of typical of a lot of those war movies from around the late 90s, early 2000s, all of them that basically were trying to copy like Saving Private Ryan, stuff like that. It's got all the cliches, I feel. But
For sure.
But yeah, and its one unique aspect, the one that it's named after, is something that it fails to even highlight, which is certainly disappointing. Another thing I wanted to say about this, which isn't very specific to this movie necessarily, but this is something that I noticed that really bugs the shit out of me of movies from this era, late 90s, early 2000s again, is that there's a huge dynamic range in the audio, and the fucking dialogue is always like whispers, and then a gunshot goes off, and it's like 50 decibels louder.
I
and
noticed
it shakes
that.
the
Like,
fucking
I
house.
was trying to watch the movie last night. Like it was like 9 o'clock at night or something like that. And I'm like, oh, the dialogue is a little bit loud, so let me turn up. And there's like, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, subtitles encouraged for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really.
It's
Jesus, yeah, put it on like 5 volume and put on the subtitles. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. It's that effect is kind of cool in a theater, but like I really wish like home movie releases would have more like compression on the audio or something just to help.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's kind of all I really had to say on this. I thought the battle scenes were kind of cool. They didn't particularly stand out to me as far as war movie battle scenes go, but they weren't particularly bad.
I honestly thought all the performances, I mean, except for Peter Stormare, his performance was awful, but I thought every other person's performance was at least solid, so I can at least say that.
Yeah, it was definitely it was far from unwatchable. It just had a lot of lulls, and I mean it had enough battle sequences, but everything in between was just kind of hard to stay focused on.
It was very dull and cookie cutter in a lot of ways, and that was the problem with the 90s and early 2000s. That era had so many fucking World War II movies that like you got to do a little bit more to stand out. So,
well, since we're kind of wrapping up here, I have a few Amazon reviews of this movie. I did search a few other sites, but not a ton of reviews out there. So if you guys would indulge me, I can go through some of these reviews I have here.
Absolutely.
So the first one I have is from Janeth Barrows. It's titled "Couldn't Get It to Run on My TV." And she says, really wanted to watch this, but couldn't get it to run. Next one from Aaron Hamel. It's titled Product Did Not Work. And in the body says DVD did not work. Got one from Barbara Marvel, who I think is Captain Marvel's mom. Review titled Windtalkers. I bought a VHS copy of this movie. We were very disappointed with the theme as every war detail was too graphic. Gory scenes. There was just too little information about the Indians that were the Windtalkers.
Well, I mean, hey, she's got a little bit of it there, like, you know.
She's close.
At least she got it to run on her TV.
Because she got the VHS. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and VHSs were like pretty solid back then. So
yeah. C.R. Cole wrote a review titled "Inconsistent Amazon Connection." He said, "Unwatchable internet connection is great, but video keeps cutting out to the movie menu screen." Amazon customer wrote, "Great subject matter. Should have been made in the 40s or even 50s when they knew what they were doing." And that's the title. And in the body, it says, "Pathetic and lame." Obviously, this is written by Donald Trump. Too bad it wasn't made back before Hollywood was pathetic and lame. On top of that, Cage and Slater are both a disgrace to any American military uniform, even in a movie.
Oh,
Okay, so I have a couple problems with that, right? Made it in the 40s and 50s when they knew what they were doing. No, they didn't. They would have made Marlon Brando play one of the Code Talkers.
Yeah, they would have put him in, like red face, I guess.
Yeah, they would have had John.
They knew what they were doing.
Pilgrim, I'm from the Navajo. Yeah, no, that person's a fucking absolute dipshit. That one pissed me off more than any other.
Well, Frank here wrote a review titled "No Movie At," and he wrote, "I did not receive my movie yet, so I cannot read it. More than happy to rate it just as soon as I get the movie. Thank you."
Oh my god.
So I hope Frank got that in the mail. He didn't update his review. And then the last
hour later through the mail, and he's like, "Man, I feel like a big fucking idiot right now. I'm gonna delete this." And then he's like, "Oh shit, my dinner's ready," and just never forgot to.
He never got around to it.
Yeah.
The last one I have is written by Dee Dee. It's in all caps.
Ramon?
So you have to yell it as you read it.
It says, "Problems with movie. It would not play in any my DVD, so I've been trying to get back in touch with you all. I rented this movie, and it is very, very good. Therefore, I wanted my own. But this movie you all sent me, as I said it, won't play in any my DVDs. So I'm still trying to get in touch with you all. The first time I had problems with you all because I have rented from you all before, and the movies was great."
So that was definitely Dee Dee Ramon.
Absolutely, Dee Dee Ramon wrote that review for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he was still when this review was made. So I mean,
yeah. And then the rest of the reviews are people just saying that there was too much violence and killing in the World War II movie.
Yes, World War II, a very peaceful time in world history.
Most peaceful time.
We could just dial it back,
You just dial back the brutality of war. Thank you very much. I'm trying to show this to my children.
I think the guns should shoot a healing salve that cures all wounds.
They should blow bubbles, dude. I mean, what the fuck? They didn't blow bullets. They blew bubbles.
They should be like just rubbing aloe on each other for 2 hours.
So now that we're like done with Windtalkers here, do y'all want to take like just a brief break? I need to get some more water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then we'll come back and launch into our new segment
Yes.
that Taylor will introduce. Break
Okay.
time.
Break time.
Break time. Oh yeah. Break time.
So if I shit my pants, I should just do it when Taylor's not talking.
Yes.
Okay,
Or
cool.
during.
Yeah.
Wait, are you diped up or no?
I'm not diped up. I'm out of dipes.
Oh, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry. I know coronavirus has been hitting everyone really bad. I'm
The
pretty diped
shelves
up.
at Target are fucking barren.
I can imagine, dude.
I got D-pants on though, so.
Wait, Dave, did you start rolling again or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Fuck you, Dave.
Just doing my job here. Doing my job.
Welcome back, Cage Freaks. We're here in the studio with Taylor and Jess and
Yeah, and we're
Taylor in the morning.
yeah.
The
Right now
funny
it's
thing is that I'm the only person in a studio right now.
Hey,
Hey,
to be fair,
I'm in
I'm down the
studio
hall
one.
from the studio. But yes, so we're here at the halftime of the show, and I think it's time to just introduce our new little like halftime segment that we're gonna have to fill some space here because these episodes aren't long enough as are, and especially with
we
all the stuff we
definitely-
just cut.
Yeah, I think each episode needs to be longer than the Return of the King Deluxe Edition, which is over 4 hours long. I think that's a good barometer for every episode.
Yeah, these are essentially the director's cuts of what would have been our previous episodes that didn't have as much padding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor is a man with a beautiful obsession, possibly a beautiful former obsession, but possibly a beautiful rekindled obsession since he and I have begun talking to each other, and that involves one singular man, and band, Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit. And,
yes.
It is now that we will be launching into our Fred Durst Fridays bit. And I don't really give a fuck what day it is, when we're recording, or when you're listening to this. When this is going on, it's Fred Durst Friday. Hashtag Fred Durst Friday.
I mean, have you ever just had one of those days where you just want to kick back, relax, and open up a nice, refreshing glass of hot dog flavored water? You get yourself a nice side of chocolate starfish. And you know what?
Today
Every episode will be good, but sometimes the results may vary. Every Friday on Fred Durst Friday.
Oh, that was beautiful. I'm sorry I spoke over it.
For all of our audience out there who aren't limp heads, let me tell you this much, right? The unquestionable truth is Limp Bizkit fucking rips.
Oh, yeah. Now, do you pack a chainsaw, Taylor?
I do, and frankly, I'll skin your ass raw if if my band keeps going this way, I just might break something tonight. So
that's beautiful. And for anybody,
if you don't like my Limp Bizkit takes, it's my way or the highway.
For anybody who's driving and listening to this right now and zoned out for a second and is wondering why we're talking about Fred Durst, it's just that when you have someone with such a knowledge of Fred Durst as Taylor does, it would be a waste to not, put that on display.
It would truly be a shame.
As somebody who considers themselves a credentialed Durstorian, I need to tell the Cage Fight audience about how great all of Fred Durst's side projects are. And there's many. We have 16 of them in this bracket.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to crack the inaugural beer to that.
Absolutely.
Happy Fred Durst Friday. Yeah.
Put your baseball caps on backwards, friends, as we're going to start going into this little bracket here that we have set up, and I believe we have a new challenge bracket for it that Taylor made. We'll tweet this out. We'll stick it in the Twitter description, and we'll be going through this bracket as well in every episode. So I know you signed on for Nick Cage, but you're getting a little bit of Fred Durst too, and the way it should be.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the mid roll segment of Fred Durst Friday will be just as long as the episode itself.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
As the editor, I'm sure it'll be that way because I never cut anything.
Oh yeah, Jess has never cut anything in any of her podcasts. Is just kind of just let everything just go completely unedited.
I like things raw, no rubber,
uncut.
You want to be on top with Fred Durst, no rubber, exactly.
Uh-huh.
If you want the ribbed version of this podcast, go listen to the fucking imitators.
Here's the thing: you don't want any of those counterfeit Fred Durst podcasts because you know what? Those people, they're freaking me out. They're wearing a mask called counterfeit.
See, I feel like
you gotta have faith in my Fred Durst knowledge. Have faith.
I feel like I'm doing you a disservice by not knowing more about Bizkit to get some of your damn references.
Oh no, I mean the counterfeit. It's like pretty much the best song off of $3 Bill. So
yeah, if I don't get the references, feel free to just keep rolling.
I would prefer it if you did it my way. It's my way or the highway.
I guess now is a better time than ever to announce that Dave is my significant other.
You got to see this gold cobra, y'all.
No, I was gonna say this segment is golden cobra.
Hell yeah!
So if we haven't alienated you enough, props to you, and I love you.
We're working on it.
Oh, I got a new one. We're gonna find every significant other thing that Fred Durst ever did.
We're gonna get him inside the actor's studio. I don't know. I'm trying.
Do you hear that?
We're gonna get every single Fred Durst thing. We're gonna rearrange it to make sure which one's the best.
Do you guys hear that? It's like a rumble. There's a rumble. Oh, and there's like weird lights going around. Oh God, it's a stampede of disco elephants.
Whoa.
Not the disco elephant.
Hey, better the disco elephants than the violent ones.
Oh my God, this is so fucking. I love everything about this.
All right,
I'm so excited for this bracket.
Yeah, I'm really
So,
excited to dig into that bracket soon too.
You want to give us a taste of what is in the bracket?
Oh, fucking absolutely. And let me bring this up real quick. There's a lot of really good ones here. A lot of movies that he directed and starred in. A lot of good songs. Just some funny cultural moments that happened. Some commercials that he did. Just some great stuff. Just some great stuff.
Honestly, I'll watch any commercial that Fred Durst is in.
Yeah, whether he directed it, was in it, absolutely.
If they could take all the ads on Hulu and replace them with Fred Durst ads, I'd be a happy camper.
That would certainly make life just a little bit better, at least.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder
as
how
far
Fred
as-
Durst is doing.
Sorry, you
I
kind
hope
of
he's
cut
doing
out
okay.
there. What were you saying? You wonder how Fred Durst is doing what?
Is doing during coronavirus. I hope he's doing okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you all
Well, he
did
just got a check with Amazon Prime, who is has the rights to the Fanatic. So I hope that he's keeping his kids fed.
Mm-hmm. He actually predicted the coronavirus and has been warning us for years. Like
That's
you
true.
remember the line like no human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract.
I was gonna say your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. Absolutely.
Yeah, and actually, not a lot of people realize that this is why he did this, but the form of facial hair that attracts the least germs is the goatee. And so if you rock the goatee, it'll limit your possibilities of catching the deadly virus.
I'm actually looking at a photo of him from 2013. And he's got a thick ass beard there.
Oh, damn, you should trim that down because it's all about the goatee, motherfucker.
And also a suicidal tendencies hoodie and like some like white biker gloves while he's on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no,
Like
yeah.
BMX.
Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit were very, very, very influenced by suicidal tendencies for sure.
Yeah, and basically, with his current aesthetic, he wants to give off the vibe that says, I was really successful at one point, and I'm still getting mad pussy. So,
Well, he is.
and he is, yeah, he's shooting ropes everywhere, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I don't mean to have too much of a flame war on this episode, but I mean, let's be honest. Wes Borland is probably getting better pussy because Wes Borland's still pretty hot.
Yeah, especially when he wears those contacts. Oof.
Oh God.
West
Yeah, why don't
Borland's
we wanna see your
contacts,
people,
and if you
Daddy?
interact, your pussy's all wet.
That was poetic as fuck. Well, I definitely look forward to traversing through this bracket. I mean, I'm semi-familiar with Fred Durst. I was a fan as a lad, like before my brain developed and such. And I'm excited to see what I missed out on.
Yeah,
there were a lot of real recent gems. So
I'm very excited. I have seen The Fanatic, and I think the review that I wrote on Letterboxd says that there's some decent stuff in this movie, and it would be enjoyable if it wasn't for I think that's it.
all the stuff that Fred Durst didn't do.
No, it's just it's slightly offensive in the character that John Travolta is portraying is I feel like not handled perfectly.
a little
So
insensitive in my.
yeah, little it's insensitive, but it has some redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't get your hopes up if you're about to throw that on the TV.
Yeah, and but before we move on, I do want to point to anyone who is still doubting the magnificence of the Durst to a Hard Times article that is titled, I believe, "If it weren't for Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit would have been a solid rock band instead of fucking incredible." And if you just read that, I believe you would understand. So, yeah. I think this is just an announcement here. We're not going to go into it right away, but so prepare next time. And what is going to be the first thing on the lineup on the mashup, Taylor? What are our first two items?
The first ones are "Here We Are" and "Bleed."
All right.
All right.
So we'll be comparing those two. Give those a little listen.
And one of them is a song I actually like. So who knows? But I'll let
So
you get it.
listen to those on a loop, make a playlist, those two songs, hit repeat, and come back next week for the poignant commentary on those tracks.
Yeah. Just until the next episode is out and you're listening to it, that's all you should be listening to, personally.
As soon as you finish this episode, go on Spotify or whatever you have, and that's your focus until the next episode drops.
Yeah, that's your homework. All right, moving on. Since Fred Durst Friday is officially over, but it's never really over. It's still going in our hearts. But
now it's Andre 3000 Thursday because we're about to talk Outcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday was Westmoreland Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, Outcast.
Yeah, so this movie, I actually couldn't find a rating for either. Maybe this wasn't rated by the MPAA. I don't know, but it wasn't on IMDb.
Hey, I actually found it. I found it last night because I have some not very positive things to think about it. It has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
damn, that's actually way higher than it should be.
Oh, I was talking about the MPAA rating, but yes, 5% on fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
You're talking about the rating, yeah. I don't know because I mean it's not an American production, so I don't know if I don't even know if it was released in America, to be honest.
Oh yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, it's an American Chinese Canadian movie.
Okay, apparently it was released in the United States, fucking 6 months after its release in Beijing.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Mike mentioned, this is a combination Canadian and Chinese film production that stars American actors.
2 American actors.
Yep.
No, actually 1 American actor and 1 Canadian actor. Thank you very much.
Is Christensen
Canadian?
Yeah, Hayden is Canadian. That's it. I know it's horrible, isn't it?
Canadian Christian.
Wait, Hayden the Canadian, kind of like Hannibal the Cannibal. But yeah, Hayden Christensen is in this movie, which I believe besides, was it Jumper or Looper? I don't remember. I get those two fucked up.
I think it's Jumper.
Jumper, yeah. Besides Jumper is the only movie I remember him in. This is the only movie I think I've ever seen him in, besides, like the episode 2 and 3 of Star Wars.
He was in another movie that I watched in a fucking class once. A Life is a House. That's it. It's like just some just dumb drama movie. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's not great. And it's really sad about Hayden Christensen because he's legit not a bad actor, but he always gets put in the worst shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And funnily enough, apparently the way this movie was announced was they posted the official poster on the ArcLight Films website and the Hayden Christensen fan site.
There's a Hayden Christensen fan site?
Apparently, and they got an exclusive announcement about this movie.
Oh, wait, Hayden Christensen, he was a minor role in the Virgin Suicides? I didn't know that.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a decent movie.
I've never seen that movie, although I did read the book a long time ago. But
and I'm a virgin, so I'm living it, baby.
It's like a virgin, but I'm not contemplating suicide right now.
Hey.
So this movie came out in 2014. And it was directed by Nick Powell, a director so illustrious he doesn't have his own Wikipedia article.
Oh yeah. So this was his directorial debut, and the only other director credit he has is a movie that came out in 2019, also starring Nicolas Cage, called Primal. Which is actually not on our bracket. It just missed our bracket.
Wait, they made a film adaptation of the early 1990s fighting game Primal Rage? Really?
I hope that's what it is. But this director was mostly known for doing like stunt choreography and stunt coordinating.
Yeah, I see on his IMDb he done stunts on Gladiator, Born Identity, Cinderella Man, Last Samurai.
I'm gonna say you really couldn't tell because the stunt choreography in this movie sucks shit.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
See, it does make sense in retrospect because like this movie is almost entirely fight choreography with like a tiny bit of story sandwiched in between.
Mm-hmm.
The story is really fucking stupid.
The story is terrible.
I mean, and not to get too ahead of our feelings on this movie, but I mean, the story is essentially like a coming of age story, and like not even coming of age story, but it's like a kid's story with a lot of violence in it.
Yeah, it's like a really bad fairy tale. It's not good.
The guy who wrote it, the only thing other stuff that he's written was he's written for like a bunch of TV shows that haven't that didn't get picked up really. It like lasted for 2 to 4 episodes. And apparently he wrote on a Cinemax original series called Strike Back that I've never heard of.
So one other quick couple things I want to mention. This has a runtime of 99 minutes and a budget of $25 million. Box office gross, 4.8 million. So that puts us up to out of 28 movies and 9 movies in the black, baby.
Just post again. It's 34 movies.
Still, so that was 2 today that were both in the red, as is fairly typical. I think as we get further along in the bracket, when we get into the next round, we get into some more of the good movies, and it might start to even out a little bit. But
Yeah.
did you have any little trivia notes, Mike, or anything like that?
I mean, there's really not much interesting trivia about this, other than the fact that it was met with like criticism and outrage due to the whole white savior aspect of it, which we will certainly get into as we go through the plot summary.
The only trivia I know is that Nicolas Cage, because of course we know Nicolas Cage is very much of a method actor. He actually lost an eye in real life to play this character.
Mm-hmm.
He was at a 7-Eleven and he was trying to speak Navajo to a white person and they stabbed him in the eye.
Now, I just want to say real quick, when you said method actor, I definitely heard meth head actor, which is a lot different.
Or if you're playing a meth head, exactly the same.
Well, either way, you're bound to lose an eye.
I will say it is weirdly relevant that these are both stories that supposedly focus on people of color, both of these movies, but end up just focusing on white people. So,
Yeah, really funny connection.
When you break them down, they're very similar. They're just like a shitload of battle sequences glued together by, poor storytelling. And
oh boy, some poor storytelling.
white saviors abound.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's just get right into the plot here. And my plot notes for this, I think, are quite a bit shorter than they were in the other one, but maybe not. I don't know.
There's not a lot of plot going around, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah, it's very bare.
So it starts with some crusaders entering a town and killing the last of the Muslims that are there. Cage has apparently sworn a blood oath to Hayden Christensen's father to protect him, but he's excused from it mid-battle. I didn't really know what the fuck was going on. Looked like people were dying, and apparently this is very significant later because they keep thinking about it, but I couldn't really even tell what the fuck was
never
happening.
really clear I mean, you get a general gist of what's happening at the beginning of this movie, but you don't really realize why it matters for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's just so much going on. Like I was even watching the movie, I'm like, wait, what? Where are we going?
Yeah, what is happening? But yeah.
Yeah, this is a movie where I was I had to actively force myself to pay attention to what was happening.
Yeah.
Always a good sign.
I was continually distracted looking at my phone and then being like, shit, I should pause this because I have to watch this.
Yep, that was me too. We were all very diligent watchers of this movie.
So then it cuts to there's a dying Chinese emperor. I assume he's Chinese because this is a Chinese production. I could be being racist. I'm sorry.
You could certainly be mistaken because everyone in this movie was speaking fucking American English.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it could have been in fucking Berkeley, California for all we know.
Yeah. I think I'm not positive, but I think everyone in this movie, except for the 2 people on the poster, are Chinese.
Yeah.
There was like one black person in this movie, and I'm like, wait, what? There's a lot of weird casting in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange.
But yeah, we see that dying Chinese emperor.
Tiny man.
I said tiny because I was trying to say dying and Chinese and it came out tiny. I don't know what the fuck goes on with my brain.
Look how tiny that fucking dying piece of shit is.
But he decides
get bigger and maybe you'll live.
he has two sons. One, the warrior Singh, I believe was his name, and then his peaceful son, Zhao. And he's decided to have Zhao succeed him rather than his older warrior brother, saying it's a time for peace, not for war. So the king sends off Zhao because he knows that his brother Xing is not going to be very happy when he hears this, and he tells him to take the royal seal with him. Then the warrior son Singh shows up and is very power hungry, and it gets very mad when he hears this news, and he kills the emperor. Because of course he does. This is how movies like this go.
He said, "Daddy, you never loved me, and now I kill you."
He tells his soldiers that the other son, Prince Zhao, killed the king and stole the royal seal, and they have to go find him. And honestly, this reminds me of Gladiator. Do you guys remember the opening scene of Gladiator? I swear to God, it's exactly that.
I do not remember much of Gladiator.
I mean, that's probably all right. But so
other than the Sopranos episode where the one guy is obsessed with it, that's about it.
Yeah, don't know that one. But so eventually, as the prince who was traveling with his sister, the princess, whose name I didn't actually catch. Did either of you catch her name?
The sister?
Yeah, the princess.
Yeah, it is
I don't think her name is Wait, Liam? What?
Leon.
Leanne. Okay.
Yeah.
Her name's Leanne. Her name's Leanne. Yes. I mean, she was speaking American English, so maybe her name is Leanne. I don't know.
But
and she is played by the actress who's going to be Mulan in the live action Mulan.
Oh, I didn't know
shit.
that.
Okay. Hey.
Well, I'm sure she got it based off the strength of this film.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no, this was very much of like a watershed moment for her career. I'm really glad she was in this.
This really boosted her into where she's at now in the Disney Corporation.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Leon and Zhao are traveling, and they get into some, like, I don't know, like an inn or a bar or something, and then the blackguards, who are the hand of the right hand of Singh, you know, carrying out his duties, catch them there. And for some reason, Hayden Christensen is there. It's not really explained why.
You know,
or how.
And that's the thing, right? And we'll get into it a little bit, so I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it. But like, first off, how did Crusaders end up in China? Like,
yeah, how the fuck
they
did
have
they get
explained
out
that?
here?
I was never clear on that. This is supposed to be the 12th century.
Yeah.
Yeah, international travel was kind of bad back then.
I think this would. Yeah, this would be the 12th century. Yeah, international travel, not an easy thing to do. In fact, hadn't like Westerners really been to China before Marco Polo in like the 1300s? I don't know. Fuck it.
So here's the thing: is that technically, yes, there have been some historical reports that Romans had like physical interactions with like with Qing Dynasty or whatever it was at the time. Mm-hmm. So there more than likely was sort of Western interaction with Chinese people, but I mean, we're not talking about a level where just some random crusader could be like, "Oh, I'm just going to take a vacation to China." Like that's not that was not happening. Especially during the fucking Crusades. Yeah, there was no level of international travel that was that prominent back then.
But yeah, Hayden Christensen is there, and he's like tripping balls, I guess. I don't remember this ever really being addressed, but in the Wikipedia article, it said he was addicted to opium.
Yeah, I mean, I kept thinking that he was drunk, but then as it kept happening through the movie, it seems like he's having withdrawals of some kind. But yeah, in this scene, he just seems like super drunk, and then he gets knocked to the ground and gets peed on, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And then he just beats everybody's ass.
Yeah, it just kills all the fucking guards. And
I mean, to be fair, if someone pissed on my face and I was in a room full of people, there'd be blood on the wall. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to finish my erection first.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah. It depends. Like, did I want that? Was I asking for this? Was it like a public, waterworks thing? But
yeah, I'd be way into it, but like, that's just personal preference.
But
you can cut that.
That's staying in.
That's definitely.
But
sorry, what was that? I was peeing on myself.
So, like, after he kills the guards, he, like, pussyfoots around and is like, I'm not gonna help you, but, eventually they convince him and they give him some money. So now Hayden Christensen is traveling with Leon and Zhao.
Zhao.
And so eventually they go to, like, they see that village they were just in is being sacked by more guards, and they rescue, like, a little girl, which, like, this was made as, like, a plot point, but I just legitimately don't ever remember seeing this girl, like, anymore throughout the movie, like, ever. Like, was she on screen?
I honestly don't remember either. And I like nothing that happens in the middle of this movie really is like of any importance. They kind of set it up in the beginning to have an eventual payoff. And all of this just seems like filler.
Yeah, after this, pretty much everything is filler. There's one scene I do want to talk about because it's the start of a love story. Where
Yes. Yeah.
they're laying around a campfire, and Hayden Christensen is complaining about how hard the war was for him, and says, like, you're a princess, you had an easy life, you don't even know. And she basically says, like, don't judge me, you don't understand how hard it is to be a woman in these times, which, like, true, I guess, but also, like, she is literally a princess, and this is why all good feminism needs to incorporate some class analysis, or it's gonna fall short. But
Yeah, Jess is very anti-liberal idpol on this episode.
yeah. And then Hayden Christensen says, like, you're right, I'm sorry. They end up traveling and going with, like, some traveling band of, I don't know what they were. Who were these people that were traveling that they met up with that had, like, the pull cart and everything? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I have no fucking idea. Who they are.
And
I
I'm
mean-
sorry. I'm sorry to digress one point. What the fuck was Hayden Christensen's hair in this movie? He had like the
Oh, yeah.
hairstyle of like a mid 2000s WWE wrestler. Like,
Yeah, he looked like either a mid 2000s WWE wrestler or like a mid 2010s fuckboy.
yes.
He had that
I
haircut.
don't really know what the haircuts were like in the 12th century, but I can tell you that they weren't looking this fresh.
Yeah,
it was more Friar Tuck than that.
Yeah.
well, that was seriously a thing around this time, because this movie came out in 2014, and I swear from 2014 and actually about 2013, once Macklemore had that haircut briefly, up until about 2017, everybody in the fucking world had this haircut, and every goddamn movie they would put it in too. Like, I remember there's even, no matter how anachronistic that haircut is, like Brad Pitt had it in that Fury movie, which I don't know. They put it in everything.
Turned everybody into Nazi youth.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's called the undercut, and the undercut was a pretty popular haircut back in like the 40s and 50s outside of Nazi circles. But it's just like the way
Not
that
way,
Hayden Christensen
though.
did
You know
it
what I mean?
was pretty bad.
Mhm.
It was not good. It was like the undercut that you get at like Supercuts or like Sports Cuts or something.
Yeah, that was the way it was. Because it was like completely shaved sides. It's like a mohawk where he didn't spike it up, basically.
Yeah, no. Yeah, could you imagine, like, it's like, oh shit, we spent $24,999,000 on everything else. We have $1 for haircut. Let's go to Supercuts and get a coupon.
It's the haircut that in the current age every military dad gives to their 3-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they meet up with some traveling people who apparently who own a house.
A roaming gang of people.
of individuals.
Oh, cool guys.
Yeah. And they give them some food and a place to stay, but are pretty quickly betrayed by them and sold out to the guards. During this whole thing, Christensen is somehow separated from, the royals, Zhao and Leon. And they're on like a boat on a river somewhere, I don't know. But like I kind of missed this whole bit. I was Zony, I'm gonna be quite frank. But suffice to say,
I don't blame you.
somehow they are all saved by Nicolas Cage, who is finally back.
And this has been like at least 45 minutes since.
No, this is an hour into the film. I made sure to note.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I believe it was an hour in the fucking film. Like, so he's in the first 5 minutes, disappears for like a fucking hour, and it's like, dude, I thought this was a Nick Cage and Hayden Christensen movie, not a Hayden Christensen movie cameo Nick Cage. Like, what?
Yeah.
Did they only afford 30 minutes of Nick Cage? Like, I just don't get it.
They may have legitimately only been able to afford a couple of minutes of Nick Cage. But yeah, Cage is like apparently he's been holding like a super big grudge against Christensen. He's like super mad at him and keeps saying like, I should have let you die. And I'm not exactly sure what he was mad at him over. Like, I still don't understand.
So he was mad at him because during the initial battle at the beginning of the movie, he walks in on Hayden Christensen in a room full of dead children, and because he's Anakin Skywalker, he assumes that he slaughtered them all.
Yeah. Killed the
He's like, what have I done again?
And so he thinks that Hayden Christensen just got blood hungry from war and, slaughtered a bunch of civilians. And so he denounced him after that.
Okay. Or Cage is basically considering turning in, Zhao and Leon to Xing to get his like reward and make the money, but like somehow they convince him otherwise, and he decides to help them like hold a stand against the guards.
And he's got snakes wrapped around his arms while he's doing it.
Mm-hmm. After this, Leon and Hayden get a little lovey-dovey. They have a kiss. They share a beautiful, passionate kiss. And I do have to wonder why so many action movies feel the need to force in a love subplot when they clearly have no interest in writing it or actually developing it.
Hayden and this girl had literally no chemistry at all.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, and they couldn't even fully commit to it. And so it just felt like an afterthought the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. There was.
They had less chemistry than Anakin and Padme.
That's the thing. I think so. Anakin and Padme, like, I think they did have passion, but the acting was so fucking stilted.
Yeah,
that I think that they couldn't have actually made it work, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It was very Shakespearean, the level of acting. And
yeah,
I mean that in a very derogatory way.
I do kind of agree with that. I feel like a lot of the prequels, like the acting suffered from bad direction on Lucas's part.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely agree that Shakespeare is worse than Star Wars. So
yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So after this, like, big battle happens. Like the Black Guard is there to come take away the royals, but they fight, and like, basically all of Cage's people are killed. Eventually it's just Hayden and Cage standing there at the mouth of a cave, and they tell like Leon and Zhao to go hide in the back of the cage, or in the back of the cave. And like wait, why am I getting so into depth with this? I'm sorry, but it doesn't really matter.
That's the thing. Basically, is that I looked up the plot synopsis on Wikipedia to see if I missed anything, and it's literally like less than 3 paragraphs long. Not even 3 paragraphs. It's like maybe 10
sentences. We've already thought about the plot of this movie more than the filmmakers. So.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, basically,
you should become like a Hollywood screenwriter. You could actually put more effort into some movies.
Yeah.
Than these fucking idiots do.
Basically, Cage tells them all to go hide in the cave, and he's gonna have his final battle, and like he takes on like 20 guards and like kills like 20 of them, but is eventually killed. And he just lays there and has some last words that I can't really make out because he's just going like
yeah, I mean, just like the last movie, he's just kind of laying there and gargling.
But yeah, wasn't there like a weird line that Nick Cage had in like the cave? He had like some weird inflection on a line.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't remember what the fuck he said, but it was really funny.
I think I know what you're talking about because it was my favorite part of the movie. In the cave, when they start getting attacked, he says, "You want my blood? You want my blood?"
And you know what should have happened is that Nick Cage from Vampire's Kiss should have came and was like, "I'm a vampire! I want your blood! I'm a vampire!"
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I should also point out in this movie, Cage is trying to do like a British accent, I think. I don't know.
Oh, I can't believe we haven't addressed that.
Whatever it is,
it's a weird accent. I don't know what's going on.
It's I believe, an attempt at a British accent that falls very short, much like his other accents. But I mean, this one is particularly bad.
Yeah, it's really fucking bad. Cage, if you've listened to all of our past episodes, Cage is not good at doing accents. I don't think I've ever heard a convincing accent coming from him at this point.
Even accents that he does with frequency.
Yes,
high
like
frequency.
Fucking New Orleans accents. Jesus Christ.
I'm so excited to hear that accent too.
In this movie, he really is just like, this is one of the worst ones. But I was laughing at it right away at the start. Besides that, so after Cage gets killed, meaning that we got a glorious, I think, out of this whole movie, maybe 20 minutes of screen time from Nicolas Cage, and we still had to sit through this.
Yeah,
whole
it
fucking
was not much. It was not much.
thing.
Minimal Cage.
Shing, the warrior prince who like killed his father, is there personally, and he decides to challenge Hayden to one-on-one combat. They spar for a while, and then like I don't know, the guards cheat and they shoot Hayden Christensen with some arrows, and like Shing is like, "No, stop it! I want a fair fight." But then Leon is like, "I'm gonna stab you and kill you," and he's like, "Not if I stab you first, bitch!" and stabs her, and she's dying.
Like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. Hayden Christensen goes like lame ass rage mode and just like bodies Shing almost immediately, and then they kind of collapse and like stare at each other on the ground, like Hayden and Leon, and yeah. Then the second in command, the one who was below Shing, just basically just walks up and he's like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Zhao. You're the king now. Forgive me." And they just declare him king. I don't think that, like armies' allegiances just shift that quickly generally. Usually in battles for the throne, I don't think it's just like, "Oh, the one guy died. Well, I guess I'm behind the other guy now." And I feel real bad.
I think it really depends, because I mean, especially in that part of China, there was kind of like a divine right of kings thing, and I feel like if one like, was it a claimant to the throne killed the main claimant to the throne, they might think like, oh shit, this guy was ordained by God to kill this guy. Cool, let's worship him. I don't know.
Maybe, I guess. I'm not all that familiar with Chinese dynastic history.
I mean, I know there was a lot of assassination going on during that time.
Yeah, I guess I'm basing that more off of like European kings and the duplicitous bullshit that happened all the time in like England. But so yeah, after that, they all go to the palace and like ride in and are welcomed by the army as Zhao is the new king, and Hayden Christensen rides off on his horse, going back to his life of being the outcast. Like the title.
Hey,
You get it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so thoughts on this one, everyone?
This one, in my opinion, was a pretty massive stinker. I did not like it.
I would go as far as to say that it sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound biased. I don't want my my vote to be apparent. So I'm going to say it's definitely my favorite movie that I ever watched.
No, it was, and it was the best Nick Cage movie. It was the best Hayden Christensen movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the best movie of all time, really, if you think about it.
Absolutely wonderful.
I didn't even watch it.
A couple of things I want to point out in particular about this movie. The cinematography is fucking terrible. I don't know that I've ever seen a movie with this bad of cinematography. And
there were a shit ton of Dutch angles, terrible lighting.
Yeah, Dutch angles, shots from like below shooting up, and for some reason every shot in dialogue is just like a constant close-up, and they're full of like quick cuts that are it's just way too busy for a simple scene of dialogue. And then
it's got like Taken 3 level of like fucking like stunt choreography. It's like, dude, just slow down for a second.
Yeah, I think those aspects are where it becomes very apparent that a stunt choreographer directed this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what his other Cage movie is like, and if it is also like 80% stunt choreography.
That would make sense. The thing is, too, the fight choreography sucks, though. Like, it's not good. Like, even the fights, like, they're not well directed. It'll be like, maybe he knew how to line up the stunts, but he didn't know how to make the camera look at it,
Yeah, they were just very uninteresting conflicts.
Yeah. Like, and I do remember specifically, it's like, you'd see a person swing, and then when the hit would connect, it would be jump cutting already. You know what I mean? You wouldn't see follow through or anything. It just felt like stupid. Like, I couldn't see what was going on in the fight scenes, and the dialogue scenes were cut like they were fight scenes. Everything was just fucking terrible.
And just the set design was really bad. The special effects were fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Just really weird. And to be honest, and I don't really know why that was. I mean, I know this movie was actually shot on location in China, so maybe there were some issues getting maybe good sets because of that reason. I couldn't tell you, but it was weird as shit.
You'd think with $25 million, though, they could do a little bit better. I mean, shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like some fucking money laundering operation.
Right. Or most of the budget went into lugging all that shit to China.
It's a Nick Cage movie costing $25 million. It has 15 minutes of Nick Cage in it. It was a money laundering scheme.
Yeah.
Right. And he probably got like 10 million out of that.
He probably did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say. Go for it.
I mean, I have no more closing thoughts. If you want, I can share a few reviews that I found.
Oh fuck, absolutely, please. Are any of them in Mandarin?
Unfortunately not. I mean, I would be willing to run that through Google Translate and have some fun with it, but actually there's not a ton of reviews for this movie because I think like 100 people total have seen it.
Yeah. Proud to be part of that list.
Absolutely. The first one comes from Daniel A. Clarkson. It's titled Stupid Plot. And in the body he writes, who the hell watches this kind of crap? Putin junkies? The history of Russia is more interesting than this. So,
I mean, objectively speaking, the history of Russia is fucking fascinating. That's a terrible analogy to do. Like, almost everything is boring in comparison to Russian history.
That is true.
And I mean, I think we're all Putin junkies, so that's unfair to say that whoever watches this is a Putin junkie.
I'm a Kremlin agent. In fact, we are actually recording this episode at 8:59 Moscow tonight.
Why did this person reference Russia like 4 times? This doesn't have anything.
I'm unsure, but it stood out to me for that reason.
I'm assuming they're Russian nationalists and don't like the fact that a movie about Chinese history exists. I don't know.
That could be.
I mean, maybe they're still salty about the Sino-Soviet split.
Yeah.
I have a review from Tanya Soap, who wrote a review titled "I Fear I Have Wasted My Money." And she said, the first 5 minutes are awful. I fear I have wasted my money.
What's funny is that was actually one of my favorite parts of the movie. So if she hated that part, the rest of it was going to be all fucking downhill for her.
If she didn't stick it out, then she probably made the right choice.
Yeah, can't hate her on that one.
I do love the idea of a person writing a review of a movie after seeing 5 minutes of it.
I fear I have wasted my. Imagine watching 5 minutes of a movie and then just your stomach turning.
You know, my mom's a super huge normie, so she'll watch a movie. She used to watch movies for like 3 minutes and be like, "Oh no, this movie sucks," and walk out of the theater and not even ask for a refund. And I'm like, some like really good movies, like some of the Lord of the Rings movies and stuff. She's like, I watched 5 minutes of it and I didn't get it, so I walked out. I'm like, Mom, you should have spent more time than 5 minutes.
There need to be more movies that you can fully comprehend in the first 5 minutes, and then you just spend the subsequent, 90 to 100 minutes just kicking back and having fun.
Yeah, I think every movie should at least have it should have a 5-minute summary of the movie before the movie. And then you can know if you want to watch it.
Right. Like, I don't know. I mean, Star Wars was so popular, but they didn't add scrolling text to the beginning of every movie after that, which was a huge mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. They should have done that for this movie, and people would have been like, nah, this movie sounds cool as shit. And they watch it and they're like, oh no, this movie sucks.
I have one more review from Michael Doby. He wrote, "This was released in 3D. Where's the 3D Blu-ray? ? In Germany." And he writes, "This movie was released in 3D. I am getting tired of them putting out 3D movies in 2D only. This is available in Germany on a 3D Blu-ray at least. That being said, Nicolas Cage is not in this movie very much at all. It's a okay film. I will get the 3D Blu-ray Ray from Germany before I get a flat 2D version."
Okay, so I have a couple problems with that. First off, right? A guy expecting that not only a Blu-ray release of this film, but a 3D Blu-ray release of a film that made less than a fifth of its budget back in the box office.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And then 2, motherfucker, I bet you don't have a Region 2 Blu-ray player, so suck my dick.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have a German 3D Blu-ray player and a German 3D TV, you're fucking up.
I've got a Region free Blu-ray player.
A BMW TV, absolutely. That's what we need.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, also, like, Who the fuck wants to watch a 3D movie at home? Like, that shit sucks.
Yeah, does anyone own a 3D TV?
Also, would 3D make this movie more enjoyable? I mean,
No,
most times 3D makes it less enjoyable. I can't imagine it being redeeming for this particular movie.
There wasn't really any like shots or anything to make it justifiable to shoot it in 3D in the first place.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. My favorite part of that review, though, is that his summary of the movie is that it's okay. I'm annoyed that Nick Cage isn't in it more, but he is so mad that they haven't released it so he can buy it on 3D Blu-ray.
He just
so
wants to own it in 3D. He wants to catch every angle of that Hayden Christensen haircut.
Oh yeah, could you imagine just like his fucking like mid 2000s fuckboy WWE haircut in your face?
He's one of the Hardy Boys.
It's almost like the supercut is standing right in front of me.
Yeah, is that all the reviews there?
Yeah, that's what Amazon viewers have to say about this motion picture. No VHS purchasers this time, but
That's really unfortunate.
Well, so I mean, you technically could rip this on VHS, but the last VHS movie was released in like 2006, so it wouldn't really work. So.
Yeah, this is a few years too late for that poor old woman.
A fun fact: the last mass-produced, commercially released VHS was "History of Violence" by David Cronenberg.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
In like 2006 or something. So. Allegedly, Cars 2 was released on VHS, but that wasn't a mass-produced thing.
What?
Yeah,
That's so strange.
I know, right?
Well,
it comes with a free can of beans.
Well, I guess now there's all that's really remaining is to do the vote. So
So do you mind if I go first, considering it's my first step?
usually we all go on 3
Okay, so
and say it at the same
And
time.
who does the countdown?
And Dave does the countdown.
Dave begrudgingly does the countdown.
No, I don't. I say no every fucking time. I'm not doing this countdown.
Well, fuck you, Dave.
It's true.
No.
Okay.
Can't argue with that.
All right. So 3, 2, 1. Windtalkers.
Zandali.
Oh, we got 1 vote for Zandali, and I think 3 for Windtalkers
yeah,
in a startling upset.
so 3 out of 4, not bad, not bad.
Yeah, not
Definitely
bad.
could do better, but could do worse too.
Well, congratulations to Windtalkers. John Woo, you'll be getting a plaque in the mail. And I know that's going to look real great on your shelf of various other awards that I assume you've gotten.
Oh my god, could you imagine whatever award we give for Windtalkers is probably like sitting right next to like a Golden Globe he got for fucking Face Off, or like some Hong Kong award he got for Hard Boiled.
And we would be probably the most important item on that shelf.
100%. Absolutely.
Because, I mean, when you break it down, way more people have a Golden Globe than have KG, which is what we're giving out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know the exact count of Golden Globes, but I would guess it's at least more than 16, 17, right?
More than 1.
Okay, yeah.
Congratulations to Windtalkers.
Yeah, congrats. I certainly enjoyed that one quite a bit more than Outcast, which, like, nothing about Outcast made me want to watch it at all.
This movie should be outcasted to the far reaches of our mind.
I would.
Yeah, they
Send
should.
it to Stankonia.
They should put this movie "The Love Below the Ground."
Oh, damn.
Let the ATLians deal with it.
It looks like our next 2 movies are going to be Gone in 60 Seconds and Rage, which
Fuck yeah.
I'm happy we're finally watching Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm not gonna lie.
I've seen that movie so many times, but not since I was like 12 or 13. So I'm excited to rewatch it.
And
I don't believe I've seen either of those movies, to be honest.
yeah, I think I saw Gone in 60 Seconds when I was like 6 years old, but I have not seen it since then.
Hey, I mean, basically that movie will win for me if I still get a prepubescent boner for Angelina Jolie. So I'm looking forward to that.
Angelina Jolie back in the day, absolute snack for sure.
And she has blonde dreadlocks in this movie.
Get the fuck out of here!
You're
Please
damn
don't
right.
Please don't tell me anymore. I'm just
I'm leaving it there.
I'm gonna have to watch this episode. I'm gonna have to play with myself a little bit before we watch this.
Yeah. Make sure to rub it all out before we talk next time, because
record
I don't
that.
want to hear that.
Well, I was gonna say actually, we could, if you record it, we can clip it in the beginning of the next episode.
No, so fun fact. I won't actually record it, but I will play a real quick audio of what it will sound like when I do pleasure myself to that.
God damn it! Again with this shit. All right. Oh.
I just have that on like my soundboard.
Yeah.
Please-
Yeah.
okay,
I guess make yourself a
Please
soundboard.
just put that on the soundboard, please.
Okay. I'll try and do that.
Well, until
Also,
next time.
I do gotta
Oh.
say also, there's only one more after Gone in 60 Seconds. The one after that is Army of One and Season of the Witch, and then we are finally done with round 1 and move on to round 2, where we might see
Yes.
more
Wait,
good
wait.
movies.
You said Season of the Witch? You don't mean the Halloween movie, right?
I thought that fucking button was gone.
It came back.
No, you're not talking about the Halloween movie, right? Season of the Witch?
No, not Halloween 3.
No, yeah, not Halloween 3.
I wish.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. Never mind. Okay.
It's a great movie, but unfortunately, not the same one.
Until next time, listeners, have a lovely time listening to Bizkit and watching Cage.
Have a beautiful quarantine.
This has been a Solid Work production.
Solid work. Solid work. Solid work. Hey, solid work.